In this unit, we're going to look at technical implementation, which has a few units which are called that. And this one focuses on storage in particular. So let's just get started. You need to know the difference and a bit of comparison, advantages and disadvantages for lots of these, in fact. But first off, local versus cloud or web-based storage. So local storage is what you would have on a PC or a laptop at home, on your phones specifically, unless you have other apps installed, and on games consoles where it is stored locally on that device, and the only place that you can access your data, your files, that could be your songs, it could be images, whatever files it is, can only be accessed locally on that machine that they're saved on, which has some advantages and some disadvantages compared to cloud storage. Now, cloud storage is also known as web-based storage, which I'm sure most people these days with modern smartphones will have web-based storage of lots of information, in particular using apps like Dropbox, where files are either automatically or not uploaded to web-based storage where they are saved. Now, there's lots of advantages of having web-based storage. The first one is that companies like Dropbox will automatically back up their servers, so there's no need for a user to really worry about backing up their information on a web-based system. Whereas a local network or a local computer, you would be personally responsible for backing up your own files to make sure you had another copy. The other disadvantage of that is if you're out on the move, there's no way you can access your local storage because it's only available to you if you've got the actual device that has it on with it. Whereas web-based storage, you can access it anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Okay, a lot of people just say they can access it anywhere. That's not necessarily true. If you've got no internet connection, there's no chance you can access your web-based storage. Web-based storage as well, often you could be charged, first of all, to use the service. For web-based storage, a lot of them will come with a free account where you can upload so much information to, or so much data to it, and once you get over 1 gigabyte or whatever it happens to be, then you have to start paying for it. The other disadvantage to that is it can cost you on your mobile phone or whatever device you're accessing the web-based storage to actually access that data, as well as taking a long time to upload and download. Whereas on a local machine, the access to your local files is pretty much instant, depending on how quickly the data transfer speed is, which we'll talk about in a second. Capacity is really important. It's a good word to use, capacity, instead of amount or size. So it's a really good word to use in an exam when you're talking about how much data a device can store. So we talk about the capacity of a USB flash drive or the capacity of a CD. And that's about how much information you can actually store on a particular device. Rewritable and read-only. Hopefully you'll have heard of things like CD-RW and CD-ROM, and you may even have heard of CD-R. Now, CD-RW stands for rewritable, a rewritable compact disc, and ROM, hopefully you all know that ROM stands for read-only memory, and then CD-R is recordable. And the big differences between all of these is a rewritable CD or DVD. You can put information on it, data, songs, videos, and you can go back and edit that. Whereas read-only will tend to be, when you buy software originally, it will be on a CD-ROM or a DVD-ROM, so that you can't accidentally change the data that's on it. And recordable CDs are ones that can be written on once and once only. So a read-only CD or DVD that you get will have kind of at one point been a CD recordable, essentially. It's a data written on it once, and after that it can't be changed, nothing can be edited on it. The interface type lots of these devices will have. We can look into things like serial and parallel interfaces. They could have USB, USB 2, USB 3. They could have FireWire, and that's all about how they are connected up and how the interface is the kind of hardware and software that allows two devices to communicate and connect with one another. So when you plug in an external hard drive or a portable flash drive, the interface is what allows the two of them to communicate and send data between one another. Data transfer speed is really important, and that's about how quickly a storage device, can transfer data on and off it, sometimes known as the read and write speed. And read, with how quickly information can be loaded or taken from it, and the write speed is how quickly it can store information. And obviously a higher speed is better because it takes less time to actually transfer the data on or off a device. We get different types of storage devices as well. So we get built-in, which would be a device that comes with the storage already inside it. So the laptop that I'm using right now, I can't actually see the storage that's on that, and it's built internally to the device. If there's any problems with that, I would have to open it up to access it. We'll get external devices as well that they'll probably be a bit larger. So my Xbox that I have as well has an external hard drive that's attachable to it, and it's pretty big, pretty clunky, and it's not easy to carry around. Whereas portable devices like USB flash drives, they're much easier to carry around. They're smaller and they fit in our pockets, so they're very easy to carry around. There's obviously some advantages and disadvantages to all of those different types. Magnetic and optical is really quite important, and this is about how the data is accessed on them. So things like CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays are all optical storage, where they shine a laser onto the actual surface, and depending on how it reflects, it picks up either ones and zeros, because all of these devices use ones and zeros to store all of our data and all of our information. So optical storage, it tends to be a bit more robust compared to magnetic storage. Now magnetic storage actually uses electromagnetic read and write heads to read the information that's on this, and this tends to be kind of older hard disks that are in computer systems, and they're a lot different from newer hard disks that we're now getting that are solid state. Now solid state devices will be the memory that's built into modern phones. A lot of modern laptops will have them, and all newer devices are being built with solid state devices, and these are excellent because they're really robust, because there's no moving parts in them whatsoever. And because there's no moving parts when they're in our devices, they use less battery, which means a charge in the battery lasts a lot longer before we need to recharge it. They're a lot quieter because there's no moving parts as well, and tends to be a lot faster access speeds for those too. So it's a really short topic, but a lot of information covered in it, so make sure you're really familiar with all of these different terms.